Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Emma.
So why did you choose me for this tete-a-tete?
Good job. You said it well. You're just really funny.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I feel like you're like really real. I don't know. You have a great sense of humor that I relate to, and we're good observers. Like I notice you like stay in the back and you like observe people, and I do the same thing. And then we chime in when we want to.
Swoop in for that opportune moment.
Yeah. So I just felt like this would be a really funny.
I feel the same. We have many good time in PT and in those side wings in the back.
Describe one of your favorite backstage moments.
Ooh. I think a general genre of backstage moments is when there's something on the stage. Do you know when someone like trails in like a Band-Aid or like something falls off? Like if there's ever something just like additionally thrown into the performance and everyone's on the side kind of like, who gets it off? Like, who, you know what I mean? Like that whole like, no, you pick it up. No, you pick it up. But, like get it when you run off. I think there's been so many moments of like, if there's like a puff in snow, it's like you gotta kick it or something along those lines. I think that one of the worst moments I had with this type of thing,
Yeah.
I don't know how many people know this is one of the more embarrassing moments. During Nutcracker, we're backstage, and you know, I was a Yellow Marzi one year, and just like in and out, you know, we do 49 shows, and I would sew shoes in my basket. You can see where this is going. Before going on for greetings. And so I was sewing a yellow pair for my next yellow pair I was gonna put in.
Oh, okay.
And so I run out for bows and I bow and then we line up on the side and there's just one bright yellow elastic stage, center stage. And we all just had to wait there for the rest of greetings and everyone was like, that's definitely Emma's. Like, oh gosh. And I just had to stand there and B+ being like, so that was the end of the sewing sewing in the basket, in the marzipan basket. So
Yeah, don't do that.
no, so that was the
I
end
feel
of
like
that.
there was something that happened. Someone had a Band-Aid come off. It was Consider DSCH this, I don't know, last year. One of the guys, a massive knee Band-Aid came off on stage.
No.
And we're all just like, oh God.
And you're like, does it stay put? Or you're like, do you
Someone
try?
kick it.
I mean, you saw the big tape thing moment, right, with Mackenzie? That video lives rent-free in my head. If you haven't seen, audience, someone should pull it up and screen it for all of our viewers out here. Everyone tried to get it. I was honestly not even there that weekend, but the lore of it has trickled down, that everyone was trying to get this piece of tape.
Yeah.
But it was still stuck.
Yes.
So multiple people just kept pulling it until Mackenzie got actually entangled and mid-Spanish, had to drag it off and then finished in the final pose. Honestly, a 12 for that. It was incredible. Literally, it was incredible.
Oh my God.
When did you first realize that being a professional ballet dancer was a real profession? Like, was there a single moment you knew this is what you were meant to do? Like as a job, not just for funsies in class, you know? You know what I
For
mean?
fun. I guess I was 12 when like I started coming to SAB summer courses. And I think around that time, you know, coming into these classes with like so many talented people and then coming to New York, I was like, I think I actually want to do this professionally. But it's sort of crazy that you have to like think about that when you're 12 or that you are thinking about that when you're 12 because that's just not normal. But like when you come up here and you see all this, you're like, oh, and then you start going to New York City Ballet, you know, shows, you're just like, oh, like this is something that could
It's legit.
literally that could happen. So I think yes, and then it like gets even that idea and the dream gets even bigger and bigger and bigger until like I'm 15, 16 and I'm like asking the school to stay because I want to actually do this and if I go back to South Carolina I'm going to stop dancing.
No,
That's
it's like
that's
the
sort of what happened.
geographic divide of like if I stay here, like the
Yes.
potential that's here, where if you go
Yes.
back, it's kind of just like a different
Absolutely.
life trajectory at such a young
Yes.
age. It's kind of crazy to think about.
Right? And we all had to do that.
Yeah, I was about 13. And I think it wasn't until I left Ohio to dance where, again, I loved my studio, but it was more recreational. Also, I quit ballet at 12. I was kind of all over the place. And then
But how long did you quit ballet for?
I quit for, like, I was always in classes. Like, I limited it to,
What does that mean?
okay, so, well, Claire left for SAB, and I didn't have any siblings to go to ballet with me. So I was like, well, I should obviously just quit. And so,
You didn't have any anybody to go with you?
Well, like it was just like not as fun. And this, my mom really wanted me to get into acting because I did one production at 8 and I had a great time. But then she was like, you should pursue acting. I'm like, great, so another industry we think is gonna work out, but okay. So said, okay, yeah, I'm gonna quit ballet. But she was like, you should maintain your ballet technique in case you do musical theater. So I was limited to 2 ballet classes a week. And then I was enrolled in this acting school and I was hitting 7th grade and I was so terribly awkward and it was a dark time. And I really, really hated it. And then I got cast in Clara and the Nutcracker, even going to class for 2 weeks. And slowly I was
Okay, that
asking
is
her.
just crazy town. Okay.
I was just asking her, I'm like, can I have one more ballet class and one more ballet class? And then I finally had to tell her, I was like, can I please quit acting? And she was like, a third dancer? She was like, no, please not. But then my dad was like, put her back in, we'll see what happens. And so then when I went outside of Ohio to dance for the first time and like seeing all these people my age who were like really locked in, it's kind of that feeling like, whoa, wait,
right?
this is real,
yeah, or it could be real.
could be real. Yeah,
Oh my God. And you're the dancer you are now, and you quit dance. I can't.
did.
You
I
see this
did.
girl's footwork? Mm.
well, this, you should have seen me in acting school, you would have known it was not meant to be. I got cast in the silent role of Chronicles of Narnia as the White Stag with no lines, and I moved scenery, and they basically just gave me a dancing role. And I was like, Mom, come on, like this is clear sign that I should not.
What did your costume look like?
It was a white unitard with antlers. It was so embarrassing. I can't believe I'm telling this story. 7th grade, it was really, I was so awkward and scrawny and just, it was embarrassing. Anyway, we can move to the next question. Okay, I think this
Okay, is it my turn? Okay.
yeah.
Do you have a pre-show ritual?
I do usually. Usually I have a meal, but I've learned to cut myself off 2 hours before the show.
That's a good idea.
Because one time I tried to have a burrito right before Allegro early on in the core, and it was a terrible time. Tyler will remember it.
It
was a bad idea.
So sorry for your body.
It's okay. It took a learning curve. And so I realized around two hours before I'll have a meal, and then I cut myself off. I like to do my makeup first, then my hair, and then I do some light little Pilates situation. And then if I can go up to the studio, I'll give myself a little class. Or if we've just had rehearsals, I just say, warm from that.
It's just
Yeah, at that point, it's like, especially if you're first ballet and you just finished rehearsals, you're like, it's good.
so you do Pilates in your dressing room and not in
Yeah.
the new. Okay.
No, I do I put my heating pad down. I roll out my yoga mat. I do some like hips, little TheraBand. I also listen
Do some
to music usually, where it's just ambient classical music, usually some Philip Glass.
Yes.
Just something to just like keep my heart rate down. Most of the ballets I do tend to be a lot of energy. So yeah. Also, if it's a ballet that I know gets my heart rate up too fast, I'll listen to the music in the PR just once so to get my body not to react to it. So like third movement Bizet playing in my ears and I'm like, you feel nothing. You have no reaction. And so by the time I hear it in the wings, I'm like, yeah, let's go. You know what I mean? You just have to
Nothing.
you have to kind of black out on that one a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. So you know what I mean? So that's my pre-show ritual. I also like to
You're gonna
have,
be thinking about this before you go out and do like Raimonda and like all these
just
crazy
gotta-
ballads.
well, you told me that once. One time you were like, oh, you have to find the inner peace. Do you remember that? Where I was like, you're like feeling flustered and you're nervous and you're like, you just find that inner peace. And I was like, okay. So I had to like force myself into it a little bit.
Oh, that's amazing.
I also love a kombucha before a show. Almost every show. It's like a treat.
You know, I have to do makeup before hair too.
I have to. Otherwise, if you slick your hair back, it's not a good look.
Yes.
No, I feel so bald. You know, people slick their hair back and they take class like that.
Can't.
You will catch me in class with the stage makeup on and the hair all over because it's not a cute. I actually feel like I have a question in here about this for you. Do you prioritize pre-show ritual or post-show ritual more? Like, what do you think is more valuable? Like your after the show routine or your before?
At this point, after 22 years, it's definitely pre-show that's like ingrained in my head. My post-show stuff has like evolved as I've gotten older. But pre-show, it's like, yes, makeup has to be first, then take jewelry off, then hair, then body makeup, then the deodorant and the perfume and the Altoid, and I always put the same shirt on. I have Albert's purple shirt that I wear for every single time I put makeup on and warm up, and I don't wash it all season. It just
We love the grunge, the ballet grunge. We love
But like,
it.
I don't get like that sweaty or like weird in it. It's just like I just put it on for that. And I love like a Philip Glass before too.
It kind of gets you locked into that Zen mode.
Oh my God, we are so similar. See, I
Great
knew
minds
it.
think alike. What were you like as a student? You can take this as pre-SAB or at SAB. Were you that type that would sleep in your bun? We all knew that girl at summer course who would do that. Or were you like the roll out of bed into class kind of person?
God. No, I was definitely not roll out of bed.
Okay.
That was not a thing. No, I definitely had to be like put together for class.
Okay.
And I would get there early with one of my girlfriends. Yeah, we'd probably get there in between like 9:45 and 10 into the studio.
Okay. Class is at 10:30, so it gives you like full 30 minutes.
Yeah, and I was definitely put together. Hair was slicked back. Now it looks like I just rolled out of bed to go to class, but like it's probably been about like 2 hours of like
Preps.
stuff I've had to do at home before I get to the theater, and then stuff in my dressing room before I get to. Oh yeah, I just
Okay.
don't look put together anymore.
I mean, does anyone by the end of the week? I don't know. There's some people out there.
There are some people. I mean, Miss McKinnon, she is always
She's
put
always.
together.
I respect it. She's a Southern girl. Yeah.
The outfits.
The outfits, her fits are very strong. It's very inspiring. I'm in her dressing room, so like some days.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah. So some days I watch her get ready. I'm like, dang, this is a good outfit today. I'm like, you're gonna have a good day today. Or if she has a really hard rehearsal, I'm like, she put extra care in that outfit because it's important. It's important when you have something hard and you're looking in the mirror. You're like, well, at least my outfit's cute, you know?
Yeah. No, there's some of them, but like, no. I begin the week disheveled and just like grunge, and it just like continues that way.
But that's like your trademark now, you know?
thanks.
Like, I know I just asked you a question, but like kind of building off of this. So like ballet icon that we know and love, obviously, I think there's two things that stand out in my mind that are your trademarks.
Okay.
One, and I want the secrets to both of these things. One, your arabesque, this high arabesque you have.
Okay.
Number two, the French twist. What's the secret of the French twist? Because, you know what I mean? Like, let's start with the arabesque. So I feel like, was that something you were just born with or you had to work for?
I guess I always had a good arabesque, but there is something about my scoliosis that helps it.
Really?
Yes, because the way my scoli is that it twists at the apex of the curve. So the apex of the curve is at L2, L3, and then it also twists. So there's something about the twist that allows my leg to go a little higher and like that pelvis to go down more. So it's like, but somebody did call my arabesque at point illegitimate
Oh, no.
because I like pitch in my hips
Well,
to make it go higher. So it's like not like if I just like kept my hips like square and just like did that, like it probably wouldn't go up as high. But like I do like a pitch thing with my hips. And they were just like, you know, that's not a real arabesque. I was like, oh, okay.
well, I mean,
That's cool.
use what you have. Also, we're kind of a splayed rib company, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh no,
We're-
there's not, this is not a
Because
thing.
I know a lot of different techniques prioritize like the knitting
Yeah.
of the ribs and the
Yes.
squareness.
Yes. No, we're just open and free.
I'm a whack girl too. You
We
better,
whack,
You better believe
right?
that leg is
splay.
being whacked.
Like
Like,
sometimes you do not want to take a photo from the side if someone's in an arabesque.
no. And again, within reason. Obviously, we know a secabesque, like at a certain point, you're like, okay, that's a bit much, but depending on how fast it is. But then you have those moments where you have to hold it. Like a promenade with a partner, you're like, there's no cheating. Like,
There's not.
so there's moments we can cut corners, but sometimes you can't. So
Yeah. I also stretch like 75% of the day.
okay, was it you told me that you take a hot shower and you stretch? Do you still do that?
I do. Every morning, hot shower, and I stretch
So if I want
in
a
the
arabesque, I
shower.
have to shower and stretch every day. Okay.
And then when I get out of the shower, I roll out my hips and my back, and then I stretch at home and do all these hip stretches because a lot of it comes from your hips, not your back.
Interesting.
It's all
focusing
connected.
on
Your
all the
hip
wrong
muscles
things.
and your butt muscles are connected to your back.
So you just
have
roll
to
out your
stretch-
rotators?
You
really
have
get
to
in
roll.
there?
Yes, you have to stretch all of these
painful.
things so it can like open up.
Okay.
So that's something about the arabesque.
Okay, it's the French twist.
Oh, French twist. Okay. Dirty hair is amazing.
Okay.
Clean hair, really bad for French twists.
Flat and
Well, it's just
Slippery,
too
yeah.
slippery.
yeah.
You need a thicker piece of hair and also sticky. So when you twist it, you can just put like 2 pins in. But some people do twist differently, like do it from like the top down. I go from down up,
To like
and I only do it one way. Like, so I should have
on, show
pins
it
here, but I don't. But I just literally just do that, and then I can put
when you tuck it under and then
yeah,
you pin
and
the
you
top.
can put 2 pins in, and that's it. That's all you need. I know.
But how do you get the top to have so much volume? Is that the dirty hair?
Yes.
I see.
Like if I had Serenade, which I know I have to have a French
Hair-
twist, and I have to get it
hair
out in 2
down.
pins.
That's difficult.
I do this thing where I wash it, and then there's a day, and then the day of the show, sweat and hairspray make it even better and give it even more texture. So it literally could probably stay without a pin.
That's crazy. And then when you fall to the ground, then how does it look?
I
so
do
good
like a
down?
whip. I do like a whoop
I
and
see. So for
down.
the chaîné, you get
Oh
it.
yeah,
to the
you
neck.
gotta whip it.
Oh,
Hairography.
wow. Of course, the hairography. So strategic.
It is. But now it's just like I don't even have to like think about it because I like know exactly what
It's
I
so
have to
in there.
do.
It's so
And there's certain pins you have to use. You can't use the Japanese ones that are rough because they're hard to take out.
Interesting.
You have to use the black slippery ones.
Oh, so it's slick.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So tacky, tough hair with the slick
Okay.
bobby pins.
What was that one ballet we did where they said "dirty French twist" like Sarah, and it had a photo of you in the elevator, and I was like, okay, right. What ballet was that? And I remember being like, how do I do Sarah French twist? Do you remember that? What ballet was that?
God, that is so embarrassing. I don't know.
Was it Solitude or something?
What did it say?
It was like
Dirty-
dirty French twist. And then I had a photo of you in there. Come on, wait. I'm not making this up.
I don't think you are.
Was it it was either the new Wielden or it was either the new Romansky.
You know, oh, it might have been a new Wielden.
See, okay. So sometimes when we're doing a new ballet and it's never been done before and everyone's kind of passing like, do we wear earrings? How do we do our makeup? Like, it's always kind of trying to figure it out. And then usually the day before, there's instructions just printed out and posted in the elevator. So it's like, oh, either a smoky eye or light makeup or whatever. And we all just walk in and it's just like dirty French twist. And then it has a photo of Sarah on it. So everyone's trying to replicate Sarah's rehearsal hair, which became the show hair. That's a trademark.
Everybody's like, oh yeah, we
Actually
know what
part of
that
the-
is.
It's part of the costume, but everyone does know what it is. They're like, oh yeah. You know what I mean? They like know it's a Sarah French twist. Hence why I'm asking. It's part of the iconic look. My French twist is still developing. And so now I feel like I have a lot of really good fodder to like work on it. So
Yeah, I didn't like just know how to do it right away. It took time.
I know, but it looks so seamless. But now I'm really excited. I'm really excited to try.
Just like your footwork. Okay, it's my turn. Ooh, what dance step do you find the most challenging?
Tour Jeté. 100%. Actually, okay, when I say most challenging, or I just said the one that I don't like doing, but the reason why I struggle with Tour Jeté is I think at one point I had some like L4, L5 back things where it's so much effort to get your legs to split and cross, but then of course your upper body, the big correction is like, just don't throw your arms down. You have to separate your arms and your legs to be doing a cute little upper body where your legs are whacking for their life being crossed. And so Nutcracker is like the land of the Tour Jeté. And so just like all during Nutcracker, your back is just locked in.
is the land of Tour
It's truly the flowers.
That's true.
Think about
Well,
it.
yeah, dewdrop. Yeah, and flowers. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's true.
Every single thing, marzipan, finale, Spanish
Oh.
dance, during the pot Tour Jeté, pirouette. Like name me one part other than Candy Cane that doesn't do a Tour Jeté.
Oh, Sugar Plum does Tour Jeté.
Tour
In the
Jeté to that
pot-
pirouette.
That's right. Oh my
She really does.
gosh.
No, see,
Obsessed.
now you know. Anyway, but honestly, that one's really hard to make look good, but I'm still working on many different steps and I'm like, these are challenging.
I don't agree with that, but
Honestly, chaînés, I have to think a lot about chaînés.
is it something about like the feet, like where they need to go?
I think the feet should be closer together, but I think you can work on chaînés, but I feel like sometimes people are born to chaîné. And others, just like me, have to work
Like
a little
born
harder.
to dance, you're born to shine.
Born to, like, Tyler's chaînés, like, she
Well,
could
yeah,
do it
that's
in
just
fate. That's
just
crazy.
coconuts.
That's crazy.
I don't even know. Like, I'm just like, how is she?
But it's almost like you have to be relaxed, but really in one piece. And I
This is
think
true.
getting everything
There is
in
some
one
sort
piece.
of like relaxation that has to happen, because if you're stiff, then you can't do the flip.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Willie Berman used to tell us for turns, like, you have to flip. You can't go around.
Mm.
So you have to do the same thing in shunny. It's like you have to flip. So you can't be tense about it.
See, it's so hard.
But also, I think it's like when you're trying to, like, if you're in the first wing and you have to shunny off, it's like, it's almost too flat, the angle.
Yes.
It's better on a diagonal and going flat.
Interesting.
It's if it's like the first wing, like, oh, that is not a straight line. If they video from the side, it's like that girl just came from brunch. you know?
Oh my God. How do you make an iconic role your own, even if you don't like the part?
Oh, God.
Like it's, when you really like it, it's a dream role, but like, what if it's something you're like, what do you do?
What do you do? Okay. You pretend. Okay. I don't know. No, okay. Let's see. I think you have to find like the little things in it. Like, it doesn't, like, even if you don't feel like you connect to the whole thing, or you feel like you're strong enough to do the whole thing, or you don't like the story, or you like maybe don't like the person you're dancing with, or things like that. Like, just find like the little things in it that are like, okay, I can look forward to doing that little moment, or that feeling on stage, or that piece of music, or that part of the music.
Find something to look forward to.
Yeah, because then that will sustain you, and then maybe, just maybe, like, you'll actually start liking it.
Fair. Okay.
I mean, you have such hard ballets that you have to do. It's
Well, thank you.
crazy. And do you like every part of all those ballets that are so hard?
No.
Exactly.
No, there's like some you like, and other ones like, you like the feeling after where you're like, I did it.
Okay.
And there's
That's
like
good.
fun moments. I think part of the lore is to be like, oh, I like to make really hard things look easy. But then at a certain
But
point,
you
you're like,
do. I mean, that's like.
but then there are other times I'm like, I just wish the audience for 1 second could just understand what I'm going through right now. And I'm like, I know you don't and you can't, and that's the point, you don't. But I'm like, I just wish you would get it. But it's okay,
Like, there was a show last season, and it was a ballet and a matinee, and you're just like, and you're in the PT room before, and I was just like, you're like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. And then we were all watching you on the monitor in the PT room. We were all just like, oh, she's doing it. Oh my God, she's doing it. She is like,
no, that
and you
was
went, like,
crazy.
crazy.
I did.
Like,
I went off. That was my last
you
show of
went
the
off.
season, and I was like,
You
you
were
know
off.
what? We're going down with the fight. I was like, I got nothing left. It was also a retirement show, and those are always like fun. Where I was like, this is not for me. I was like, this is just for like, we're going
it
now.
was ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, also huge thank you to Marika for that, because she really got in my back, because my calf was just like not firing right, and I was like,
I know,
this
that's
is
what it
not
was.
the
You're like,
ballet
oh,
to
my
like
calf
not
is
fire
not
your calf.
firing, and I'm like, oh my God.
I was like, I can't really like
like
stand on one leg, and she like, it's not even a pain thing, it's like a strength issue.
Yeah.
When like
Yeah.
the back gets off,
Yeah.
and I was like, my calf is not firing. And I was like, what do I do? Like, I was like, oh gosh, like, but then the second that music comes in, like, you're never alone. Because sometimes you're like, oh, poor me, I'm out there by myself. You're like, no, you're always with the music. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes music betrays you if it gives you a tempo that's like every which way. And you're like, wow, okay, like, really, okay.
It also helps. I mean, for me, sometimes too, I'm like, okay, I'm not alone, because all these people out here also have to do this. And like your partner, like, has to do some really, really hard
PC2
stuff right now.
PC2. You're dying, but also like everyone's dying.
You're just like, no, like, we all have to be out here doing this. Like, I'm not the only one that has to do a really hard ballet right now. So like, stay humble, like, get through it, because they have to get through it too. So
That's fair. Wait, I want to ask you a normal person question. Okay. If you could design the perfect layoff trip, what would it be?
oh my God.
You could take this any direction you want.
I mean, my thing is going to Sunset Beach. It's a beach I grew up on in North Carolina. I mean, I grew up in South Carolina, but it was like the beach we would go to. My grandparents lived in a little small town. But like, that's always my first go-to, because it's like so quiet. Nobody's there. It's so small. There's no tourists. It's just like, and it's the best sand and water. It's not like tropical. It's not like the most, it's not beautiful blue water and white sand. It's just like regular sand. But it's like soft. It's not dirty. There's no crap in it. And the water's like just cold enough. And I don't know, it's just like the best.
Is that like your happy place when you're doing a ballet you don't like? You're like, "Ugh, that beach."
It's like, oh my God, right. Like there's a world out there. Like, like I'm small in this very big world. I mean, other than that, everything else just seems so like exhausting to plan a trip.
Oh, but I love travel.
I know you
love
do.
it.
I know. You were just in Italy and like living your best life. And I was just like,
I
that looks
love-
so exhausting.
Well, I
mean, Italy's
I did have a
amazing.
moment though, like my last day there, where I was doing like day trip here, day trip there, and I missed the train, the next train. I took a day trip to Switzerland because I was like, obviously I should go to Switzerland if I'm here. But then I had a moment where I missed the train and the next one wasn't for another 2 hours. And I was like, why am I stuck in Switzerland? Where I was having so much fun and like I just am a doer, but sometimes with vacation, I just pack in too much where I'm like, I want to see all the things and eat all the things. But then I did have a moment of like the lack of sleep and also just realizing I was like, oh my gosh, why do I do this to myself? Like so much fun, but then you have to like balance it with like Zen time. So I could sprinkle in more beach moments. But
Okay, then like you need to ask me then, like how to do that.
Yeah.
The Zen time.
How do you do Zen time? Inner peace. How do you do it?
Inner peace. But I just found that recently. So don't put it out there that I'm like this like thing. No. I just recently found that.
Well, it seems to work.
Thanks.
You do some crazy hard ballets too, my friend.
I do, but
And like, one of my favorite rent-free in my mind videos of you dancing is you and Namuna in that crazy solo. There is
that is not
nothing-
inner peace. That is the opposite of inner peace.
But it is so satisfying. I love that video. And just also anytime you do it, because I know it's so hard and you're probably not having a good time, but like as a consumer, I'm having a fantastic time because also I understand. I'm like, there's no really in-between steps at all. And it's like, lay here, jump there, on the floor, off the ground.
Yeah.
And it is amazing.
Oh no,
So no
like,
inner peace
I
in
feel like
that,
I want to
yes.
throw up every time before I go out for that. But then it's like when I get out there, then I'm okay because I'm like I'm on the ride and I like can't stop it.
It's just the in before.
Yeah, it's like, but you have to like get on the ride and then you're like, okay.
Yeah.
It's the moment before that you don't know what's gonna
Oh,
happen,
yeah.
and I don't know what's gonna happen, and I'm just like scared out of my mind. But then when I'm out there, I'm like, oh, okay.
You cannot tell. When you step on that stage, you go to a different place. I'm like, oh, she's locked in. She's ready to go. Okay, what's a piece of classical music that when you hear elevates your heart rate immediately?
Oh my God, what kind of question is that?
Like, you're like at a friend's apartment or a dinner party and it's like ambient classical music and
Classical music?
suddenly your body, I don't know if you've experienced this, I'll hear a song and my body will immediately break out into a sweat and I'm like, what piece of music is this? It's just your body like
But is that good or
recognize-
bad that it's doing that?
It doesn't, it just means your body has memories with the music. So like, say you're like taking a nap and Swan Lake suddenly comes on. Like, what do you feel? Maybe not because you've done Swan Lake since you were like 2 years old. But like, I feel like something where like, do you have a piece of music that you hear or like the intro of it where you're just like, I don't want to say existential dread, that sounds dark, but like your body is like anticipating, like you said, that ride that's coming. Do you not have that? Am I crazy? Like, does that happen to
I
anyone
mean, I
else?
probably do have that.
Like the jump scare of hearing Nutcracker in July. You're kind of like, wait, what? Like,
Oh, I'd walk out of the room.
see?
I would
Okay.
leave where I was. It's
a real thing.
Someplace else.
Yeah, you just mentally check out.
Like,
Okay, but you do like hard ballets. So like, is there one that you kind of hear that music, you're like,
like the finale of Symphony in C.
yeah, yeah.
Like the girl step.
Oh.
The principal's ladies step.
Yeah.
Because you're just finishing third movement and I run out and we're just like, here we go.
Honestly, the beginning of fourth movement is a true heart attack.
Like doing it or hearing
I've never
it?
done hearing it.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
That's what
I
I'm
don't
saying.
know. When
I
you're
think
like an
we all
apprentice,
get
it's like
that.
one of the
We all
first
get
things
that,
you do.
That
You
like
just run
feeling of
out.
like, oh crap, here we go.
Like,
Like we can't stop it now.
It's a
Like
full
we
body
can't
experience.
stop what's about to happen.
yes. Okay. See. Yeah. 70C. That is very fair. That's real.
I mean, and we're all there together doing it.
What longest term or luckiest piece of dressing room decor?
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I
well,
got a suitcase. I'm so excited.
Excuse me. Let me just.
We got props here. Okay.
Got props, everybody. Okay, these are just things that I hang on my mirror. This is just what I hang.
No, the reason I also asked you this question is because the first time we shared dressing room space was Copenhagen, and I come in there and there was like you had a whole setup. I was inspired
Because
just
I
walking
also have
by.
like a tour setup that I bring, and then also my regular dressing room. I know, I am crazy, but it's all things people have given to me. I don't get these things myself. This, Jared Angle gave to me after we did Swan Lake one year, and he got it in Copenhagen.
Stop.
I know, right?
That's adorable.
It's just ridiculous. And then, of course, someone gave me a diamond, but because I don't really take care of myself that well, it broke on the bottom. But I still hang it.
But we leave it.
So it's a rough diamond. I'm a rough diamand. You know what I mean? I'm a little
in the rough.
cracked. I'm a little like, busted, but I still, whatever, I keep it. And then this ballerina. Oh my God, this poor girl.
She's been through it.
She's missing. She's missing parts of herself, but I still hang it. Anyway, those are just the things I hang.
Oh my
on
gosh.
my
Okay.
thing. And then the rest.
Okay, let's go in.
Oh, my little rock star who died. But he took a picture of him, and it looks like he's an arabesque,
Looks like he's an arabesque.
but he was peeing.
Wow. That's a sarabesque.
That was his arabesque. Oh, my mom gave me a bear a really long time ago. Oh, Chun just gave me this.
Stop.
He
So
just-
cute.
He gave me this in Vale.
Wow.
No, I accumulate the amount of stuff I accumulate. Oh, I have a whole thing of swans. I have a whole row of swans
As
that
you
I
should.
put. And this is also a beer opener, but nobody knows that.
Fierce.
Now you do know.
It's the best beer can.
That's just
Opener I've
a
ever
little
seen.
bit of what I have. And also I have so this is part of my gig stuff that I take. Take it everywhere.
Oh. Be brave, be strong, be you.
And then this photo of Albert and me. I always
Is that
tape it.
Cortege?
Yes.
I love that.
I know, I'm obsessed. And this is, if you're going through it, keep going. Just gotta keep going.
Just gotta keep going.
Gotta keep going. Who is this one?
Like take the memories with you to give you
Ben
strength.
Vereen. The world is a better place because you're on stage. I mean,
That doesn't get
come
you. I don't
on,
know what does.
Pam Tanowitz. Creativity takes courage. I have so much.
Wow.
I know. Oh, this one, I like this one. All those who, look what I've done. I mean, I've kept it like that. And
You
I've actually
really-
written over it. All those who risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go.
I love it.
The amount of
T.S.
stuff I
Eliot.
have,
Nice.
I have a whole protocol that I put it up. And it takes me now an hour and a half to put everything up. All
Do you
over
move
my
into the theater like the day before so you can feel settled or
Oh, yeah.
the second we get that email that it's open, you're in
I
there.
am there.
I love it.
It's like I move in, it is just crazy.
Oh, that
town.
pack out email. Oof.
Oh my God. I surround myself with
I love it.
happiness and, merit and love and things that make me happy. That and I have things that go up on my wall that say let's see, I'll show you one more thing. Gut feelings are guardian angels.
That's good.
Come on.
That speaks true when you were out there and you were like, you're having a moment, you're like, oh, this is a little fast, we're taking that out. Gut feelings are your angels.
Anyway, and then, my adult, Ozzy has to go with me everywhere. This one.
Cutie,
I-
of course.
Anyway, I have so much crap, but that's just a selection of it.
Wow.
I know, it's a
And you're-
lot.
I love it.
You need to stop by my dressing room when
I
it's
cannot
full on
wait.
done.
Full show and tell. I need to see the whole thing.
Oh yeah,
I need to see the.
it's an explosion. Okay, what did I ask you to bring? Let's see. What's one dance accessory would you have on a desert island?
Okay.
Desert island. Desert island?
Desert.
I don't know.
Either dessert or desert island. Obviously you're doing ballet on desert island. I think the thing I can't live without.
Well, yeah, we know
This-
this about you
This
just-
guy.
You
Okay.
can't
This
I
little
don't
ratty,
even know.
This little ratty thing. Okay, so Lydia Wellington, when she left New York City Ballet to dance with Monte Carlo, gave me this, and she said it used to be Janie Taylor's.
This is passed down royalty.
Oh yeah, this is passed on royalty, and so I wear it all the time. And then at one point, Rebecca Crone was like, "Wait, I think I had one of those at one point," and I was like, "Oh, was it handmade?" And she was like, "I think we got them all from Target," and I was like, "Oh, well." We don't know. I don't know. But I hand wash this puppy because
No, Rebecca definitely had one of those and would wear
sure.
it all the time.
Okay, yes.
Yes.
So, and I've never seen anyone that are just like this, but I hand wash it because this would not make it through the washer.
Oh,
like, let's be honest.
no.
But it goes with everything. You tie it around, if your back's hurting, tie around your back. You put it around your neck. Universal sign to rep directors, my neck's out. Don't be correcting my spot. You know what I mean? Like, or you can do it as like a little skirt, like, and
Oh,
at
yeah,
times,
you wear that everywhere. I know.
I drag it around like a blanket. Like, it's an emotional, or if I'm understanding in the back and I'm kind of bored, I like braid them, just like keep. Anyway, it's really multi-purpose, and I feel like I've left it backstage before, and people will like find me.
That's your emotional support.
My emotional support. Thank you, Lydia. And people will be like, "I saw this backstage. I know it's yours." Like,
Yeah.
I really take it around everywhere. So
That is, I mean, that would
Yes.
keep you safe on a desert island.
absolutely,
Desert island.
multi-purpose.
Pillow,
I love it.
blanket,
It really does it all.
clothes.
Yeah, she's a little ratty, but we love her. All right.